Sunday morning, I got an emergency, no heat, no hot water service call on a Peerless PureFire gas boiler. It was installed about 13 years ago after Hurricane Sandy. Hasn't really been serviced professionally since then. They got no heat or hot water. Let's go take care of them.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike from the Pipe Doctor. I'm at your front steps.
Oh, great. I'll be right out. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Good morning, ma'am. Is it okay that I park there?
Yes, that's in front of my truck.
I was making sure.
How are you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you.
You as
Please
well.
come in. Some of that crazy, all those crazy photos helped you last night.
No, perfect. I knew exactly what you had, and we're good. Follow you?
Good.
No, follow you? I'm following you upstairs?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm still half asleep.
It's okay.
There she goes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, not excellent, but okay. And has this ever happened before?
It happened about 3 years ago. It not to this level. And then my husband had one of the guys from the firehouse come in and clean it.
Okay.
And it worked fine until about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
Understood. It was installed after Sandy?
Yes.
Okay. And during its history, has it actually been taken apart and cleaned?
This guy cleaned it like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then taught my husband how to do it, so my husband tried it.
Okay. How often has he been doing it?
Not often enough.
Okay.
Yeah, the minute you leave, I'm signing up for your, like,
Okay.
yeah, somebody come in and
Yes,
help me
yes.
because I like my hot showers.
Because the manual does state it needs to have A, B, C, X, Y, and Z done. And if you don't do that,
Yeah, I know.
when something does happen, it's your own fault.
Yeah, all right, listen.
As long as you know about it. If you don't know about it, then it's fine. All right, I'm going to get my tool bag from the truck, and we'll figure this out. It sounds like a circulation issue.
Right.
That circulator is very, very hot, and that's the primary circulator.
Okay.
Hopefully it's just a bad circulator. If it's a sensor, we're gonna have to order that. But let's see what we can do. All right. Let's see if she fires up. And what happens when she fires up? We're cold. Looks just like an Alpine. Just upside down. Okay, we have ignition. That is warming up. Must be an indirect somewhere. $97, $100. No, it does feel like it's circulating. That's cold. That's cold. Cold. Off. That's hot. That's off. This is a basement zone that's not connected to anything. Future. This is DHW. Domestic hot water. Which goes down. 128. This may be the return for the indirect. here are returns for the radiants. 3 of them. You can tell by the mixing valve. First floor bedrooms, first floor, and not marked. Also going down. Alright, so the unit is at temperature, which is 145 for the indirect. So now we're in a post-purge, purging all the combustion gases out of the heat exchanger, the combustion chamber, and out of the machine. Our temperature is dropping. We still have that demand for the domestic water. And we're going to refire. So it didn't modulate low enough to maintain just a low fire to maintain temperature. So interesting. Think about it, you have these modulating condensing boilers. They can modulate the fire rate. So let's say your demand only needs 20,000 BTUs, but your minimum fire rate is 30,000 BTUs. You're gonna reach that set point without satisfying the demand. So here we're at 20%, 17%, 13. Let's see how low it goes. 11, 9, 140. So it's at 140, 5% input, which means we have a fire rate right now of 6% at 141. And the circulation with demand to that tank is just where it needs to be. If we can lower this down a little bit more, this would come down, hopefully. Still circulating. See, we're 4%, it dropped a degree. I wonder if it can go down even further than 4%. Kicked up a percent point. 7%, 8%, 9, 10. But we're still not seeing the error which caused the emergency service call today. All right, I'll keep you guys posted. All right, I power cycled the boiler a couple times by means of the switch, turning off power, turning it back on. And I got my thermal imaging camera out. I just want to show you a comparison. Because if I put my hand in front or on the body, I'm at almost 150 degrees on the body of the circulator, 153, 150, 160. Take a look at the one for the indirect. Still up there, but 130. All right. $132. Right, it's noticeably hotter, and they shouldn't be blazing hot to the touch. Question is, I don't know how they got the circulator in there. And there's no real easy way to get the air out of that line because there's no purge. There's no purge valve to get any of the air out of that line. We're still at domestic water. I got a gut feeling something wrong with that circ. Could also be maybe it's not getting power or there was air in there, but they said they've been resetting it for the last 24, 36 hours. And it keeps coming back with that high limit error. And that circulator is just too hot to the touch. Like, fudge. Alright, I'm getting a little tired of waiting for the tank. I want to see if I remove domestic hot water from the equation, what happens here. post-purge fan after a call for heat. I just removed one of the TT wires going to domestic hot water terminals. All right, so now we have a call for heat. Circulator on. Which circulator is on? Ignition. We're at 44%. We're at 100% now. We are dropping in temperature. All right, we're going to monitor this and see what happens. All right, I'm taking a closer look at the circulator. Drawing 0.9 amps from it. Check out all the wiring, making sure that everything there looked legit. No burn marks, nothing charred, nothing of the sort, nothing frayed. So drawing 0.9 on the circ. And it's rated at 0.71. See that? Right below HP for horsepower, 0.71. And it's reading 0.9. Let me keep my amp meter on there. 0.8, 0.9. We are ramping down a little bit, 95% on the input on the modulating burner. We're at 171 degrees. Slowly ramping down, 92%. Looks like we're at 140 there on the first floor. This one's 145 and that one is off. We got the Uponor EP, extended polymer, extrude polymer, sorry, or enhanced polymer. Radiant manifold there, 4 loops. 86%, 175, still 0.9. All right, for shits and giggles, checking out one of the circulators that are running for the space heating zones, and as I anticipated, 0.7, so we are at specification for a space heating zone, but our primary loop zone, we are at 0.9, so slightly elevated amperage being utilized by that primary loop circulator. Now, these are not ECM circulators, they're on and off, so either it's running or it's not. So right now it's running and it's drawing slightly more amperage than what's normal for the circ, or that's rated specification. Is that enough to justify replacement at this point? You know what? It's a great question. It's a great question. And this circulator is a pain to get to because it's smack in the corner and I can't get to the bolts in the back without getting real creative. And it's going to be a challenge. It really is going to be a challenge. Hi. I like to make good use of my time.
Yes.
The boiler is running.
Okay.
To save time, I disconnected power to the tank you have in the basement so we could focus our attention on the floor and the radiant for space heating. And it's almost at temperature of where it needs to be. So I like to leave no stone unturned. I like to dig because at the end of the day, labor is expensive, you know, and my time isn't cheap, unfortunately, for you. But I need to make the best use of the time.
Okay.
So I checked the amperage or the amount of current that the circulator that sends water out of the boiler, that primary circulator, it's wedged in the corner, and it's slightly higher than what it should be at.
Okay.
to put things into numbers and dollars and cents, 0.7 is what it's rated for.
Yep.
It's at 0.9.
Okay.
You have other circulators as well, other pumps on your system. Like
Yep.
right now, the second floor radiant is off,
Okay.
but there's 2 others that are on.
Okay.
And one of those is at 0.7.
Okay.
And believe it or not, the one that's I don't even know where it's going because it's not labeled is reading 1.1. So so go figure that out. But that one's not going to cause
The thing to
the. Yeah, I don't think. Actually, I'm just thinking out loud. Because if the other zone failed, if the other circulator died, and you know what? Let's turn. I could do it upstairs. I'm going to turn off. Because right now, I can't justify replacing a pump unless you say, you know what, you're here, might as well do something. But I just can't recommend that at this point.
Okay.
Until I see it fail, until I see it do something. Being slightly over amperage is not an explanation. But if, let's say,
I can hear it running, so yeah.
the cover's on. This it started on Friday.
No, this happened a month ago.
Oh.
My husband came home, cleaned the whole thing
With the same error.
with only the first error, the lockout, where it's Lee, come down. He has a better memory than I.
Okay.
He's much younger.
Youth.
Oh God, you have no idea. So it wouldn't produce hot water. We would reset it, and it ran for like 2.5, 3 weeks, and it was fine.
Okay.
Then we started having issues again.
Okay.
He said, you know what, let me do a better job cleaning it, and now it's when you hit the reset.
Now, did you see him do any part of this cleaning?
Hell no.
Okay.
He took a toothbrush
Okay.
to the interior with a screw.
Oh, so he actually took the cover off. Inside front cover, took the burner out, disconnected the gas. Okay, so he actually, okay, good. What was the first error you were getting?
It's always been the lockout error.
Which
Oh,
one?
sorry, this is Liam. Liam Mike.
Hi, Liam.
I believe it's number 3.
Okay, that was the one you had originally.
Mm-hmm.
But you had mentioned something yesterday about another error.
Yeah, so when we would go to reset it just to like build it up for a shower or something, it would give us blocking error E21, I believe.
Okay.
Which, when you Google it, obviously it shows it's a wiring thing.
Yeah, the polarity reversed, right? Yeah, and that's unlikely.
Okay. Because it's worked all this time.
Yeah, but also it's unlikely because it would come back. Like that would be the error. And basically, what that means, it thinks that, the hot or the line and the neutral are reversed, and there's a polarity, what we call polarity issue in for the circuit or for the house.
Okay.
But you'd have it's rare, but it could also be a bad ground.
Okay.
But the area, but it just
Could he have knocked something when he was cleaning?
no, possibly, but I already visually inspected the wiring and I checked the voltage and amperage, and it's where it should be.
Okay.
Is it still running up there?
How many times, like after hitting the reset, would that error come up?
The blocking?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or more. I mean, there are some days where
You hit it once and it runs like it's running now.
like this.
For weeks.
Yeah, and then there's other days where it won't get through one cycle without treatment.
And that's been running for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn off the other zones of the boiler and see the one circular that's more amperes, a lot more amperes than the one that I would like to be the problem, which I really don't want to be a problem because it's impossible to change. Let's see if that causes anything.
Okay.
All right. All right, still modulating. It's still at 0.9. And this one is more. Oh, figures. It just said 1.1, now it says 0.8. Oh. What's a better reading? It's 0.8. Maybe. All right, I reconnected TT at domestic hot water sensor terminal blocks for domestic hot water. So now we're making domestic hot water. Let's just check out the error history, which I did not do yet. Ooh. We need to have service on this. All right, so 39 minutes ago. Yep, overheat limit open. 63 weeks ago, E22 poor ground. No outdoor sensor. Right now, priority is domestic hot water because that's on. System circulator is on. Space heating circulator is off. Space heating circulator. I wonder maybe there's a controller issue. Well, until we actually see the problem. There it is. One amp. Interesting. Domestic water is off. Central heating is on. That's still pulling. That got cold quick. Let's does a power cycle. Hot, neutral, reverse. Hot and neutral reverse. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. We may have a controller issue. Here is my power coming in. Let's see. All right. One wire's on ground. Let's go to hot. Nope. And neutral. We send it for continuity. Okay. So right now, we're getting the hot, neutral, reversed error, but it's not. We have a bad controller issue. And that explains probably the failure of overheating as well, because it's not, and maybe it's just not reading everything the right way. Just for shits and giggles, reverse them. What's up with that? 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Blocking error 22, hot, neutral, reverse. All right, reverse back, line and neutral. Now we have a lockout alarm right after it went into ignition trial. Fan post purge. Overheat limit alarm. Let's reset that. There There's our relays. Interesting. See, now we have that. Now we have that error. Hot and neutral reverse. Let me explain to you the way I closed out this service call. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera. I thought it was rolling like I normally do. But let me explain to you how it went down once I diagnosed the defective control board on this PureFire. Went downstairs. I said, I have a diagnosis. And she's ecstatic. Like, I knew you would. I was like, I'm not replacing the circulator. At least not today. We may have a problem with it, but what I have verified is blah and blah. Blah being the high temperature limit, which I was originally sent there for. I was able to duplicate the problem, or the problem duplicated for me, but I also got the polarity error. With those two errors combined, and I double-checked polarity, and I know it's good, we more than likely have a problem with the control board. Now, it is a Sunday, and this is over $1,000 part, which I'm not going to order now anyway because it's a Sunday. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I am going to call the manufacturer. I'm going to tell them what I observed and the readings and measurements that I took with my multimeter, my electric meter, and we're going to verify, is my diagnosis correct? If it is correct, I am going to pick up the phone. I'm going to give you a call with the pricing and availability on this part. And we're going to schedule time to come back and at the same time do maintenance that this thing needs, because I don't know if you've noticed this before, but every time it comes on, it rumbles a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's been going on for quite a while. I was like, we need to take care of that. Is that okay with you? And you wait. She goes, of course. She goes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. She was forever grateful, really, really grateful that I was able to help her with her system and come up with a solution. That's how you deliver professional service, and that's how you run a service call. Even if it's an emergency, even though I don't have access to the parts, I still was able to do all I could. I did my due diligence. I have everything documented with my results, not only with pictures I took, but also the video that I took. Food for thought. Leave no stone unturned. Do your due diligence and try to capture as much information as you can, especially after hours. That way, if you need to call the manufacturer and you're not there, you still have all the data. If you enjoy these type of videos, let me get your thumbs up down below, your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below, and the best way to support the channel is to subscribe. If you're in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area, and you're an HVAC tech, or a plumber specializing in heating, like the systems you have, like I have behind me, check out the Mikey Pipes HVAC YouTube training channel. We're weeks, not even a week away. We're about 2 weeks away from opening for open enrollment, where we're going to have local techs, and we're going to do training by techs, for techs, with live fire conditions. We have multiple condensing systems here. Huge shout out to our sponsors, US Boiler, Webstone, and Modine, and let's not forget Whale McLean and Bosch for making this all happen, especially my pocket, because this costs a lot of money to build, and I'm doing this because I want to make the trades great again. And if I could share the knowledge that I have with someone who doesn't know that, and we could exchange knowledge together, we can make the trades great again. So make sure you check out the Mikey Pipes HVAC training YouTube channel. I have, I think, 3 or 4 videos up there. Check it out. The goal is 1 video a week. And in about a week or 2, I am going to announce open enrollment to the trades that are in the community, in the area, where you want to come in for an hour or 2, small class, 2-3 people at most, and we'll have some one-on-one training. And I'll show you how to take these apart, how to troubleshoot them, and just make you more valuable, because the more you know, the more you can earn. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Be well, God bless, stay safe.